Set deck person.
Part of this crew, I hold this monitor in front of Mark's face all day.
Have Mike do the external drive.
It's all under control, Tristan.
I think there's definitely been value to computers in education, a lot of value. But it's a shame the school systems are caught up in the race for new technology as we are in the business world and in the home world. It would be nice if we so clearly understood the application of the technology, that it provided value in the classroom to the child, that the upgrading and consistent changing of that technology wasn't necessary, and then go back and use those funds to deepen and broaden the education.
Dave Chalk Connected is brought to you by Telus. The future is friendly.
Rules for computers, mine are real simple. Is the family computer goes in the family room so that the parents can see what the children are up to, and if the parents are on it, they can still be around their kids. It's not about sequestering. Shouldn't be in the basement, shouldn't be in a back room, and certainly shouldn't be in their bedroom if the children are young and if you're the type of parent that cares about what they're up to.
Is there a volume on there, Dave?
Sorry?
Is there a volume on there?
Dave's losing focus. He's having fun with the toys. Again.
4-7, take 1, marker.
Speed.
Action.
Well, if you're the parent of young children, you're probably familiar with LeapPad. It's a great way for young minds to take in information. This is my son Luke's. He's 4.5 years old and he loves it. The way the LeapPad works is you buy a number of different books that pop into the tablet. And with the stylus, you can interact with games and you can actually have the story read to you. My younger daughter, Grace, uses this one here, my first LeapPad, which starts at about 3 years and older. All your favorite characters from Dora and all the popular shows are all included, and it's all sorts of ways to learn and interact. However, LeapPad has taken it to the next level with the Leapster. Kids love interactive games, especially mobile games that they can take with them. What Mike's got in his hand here is the Leapster, combining the functionality and learning of the LeapPad with the interactivity of a gaming device that you can take with you.
Well, it's kind of cool. I think, it's only around $100, so it's even cheaper than a Game Boy. So instead of a Game Boy, this holiday season, why not something that actually teaches them something? And it comes with a cartridge right off the bat that has 6 interactive learning games. So there's all sorts of things you can do. You can play these learning games. It even has a built-in reading electronic book reader. Plus, you can even watch interactive videos as well and create. I'm just going to go to the home. It's super simple, and pretty well most kids will pick this up instantly, and I think it's made for 5 to 8-year-olds. All the games are built right on the screen. It's touch screen, so you can either use the stylus pen that's included, and it's tied right down to the unit so they won't lose it, or you can even use your finger. What I like, too, is even got a built-in little paint program so the kids can actually color whatever they want and put in little stamps of characters.
And they're a good rugged little case. When you go into a retailer, the little cartridges come in boxes like this. My daughter Grace just loves Dora the Explorer. Of course, there's SpongeBob, and this is the Draw and Write program. These are little cartridges that snap right in, allow you to take the whole unit with you and interact and have fun while you're traveling.
It's really cool because it's just like a Game Boy. The screen is huge. The kids love it. They're playing games, but these games have learning elements in it. Right now, I'm trying to get my little rabbit friend across the river, and I have to jump on the numbers, then the addition sign, to actually do some math equations. And
Mike
it's like
could have an issue here with this.
It's like you're tricking them into learning.
I like to think of it more as encouraging them to learn and enjoying it while they're doing it.
Oh.
I heard a splash.
The rabbit fell in the water.
Look, if you are looking for a great gift idea that is reasonably priced but certainly is going to give value more than just the idle time of playing games, check out the Leapster. Of course, there are lots of their favorite characters that can be added in.
I won.
He won. You see, he's learning already. Math is Mike's friend. A great way to encourage them to learn and a continual way for you to get them a gift as their birthdays and Christmas come along again. Check it out.
Good for time. Around 3 minutes. Content, Tristan?
Dave? He's not coming.
No, it's
That's
all right.
fine. Okay, stand by for cutaways.
How was that?
What I try and do is get the things that really matter. Sometimes, like this little device has a headphone jack, and we didn't talk about it, but I feel those aren't the things that are going to make or break it. My kids love working with the LeapPad, so it's really a matter of understanding whether there's going to be a benefit, and then I think the consumers can go into the store and see all the final features by themselves.
It's got chickens, too. I actually have a couple computers. I have one in my home office, and the kids use one of the computers in there. But I also do have a computer in the kids' bedroom. And I know a lot of people say don't put a computer in the kids' bedroom. But again, I feel totally comfortable with that because I've actually sat down with my kids and explained what I expect of them when they're playing the computer and playing online.
You know, when I was a kid, technology that fascinated me was the radio. It's ironic that technology is really being forced down radio waves now with wireless. And I remember in my basement building a crystal radio and actually setting up a radio station and sending Morse code, which is really what computers are. The ones and zeros are the longs and shorts of Morse code. So I find it interesting that, unbeknownst to me, in my very early days of playing around with gadgets and devices, that it would be the radio side of it, as in sending information through the air. And today, that's probably what fascinates me the most.
Now the problem with this chair here is it has a bad tendency to leave a real butt print. Sit down on it. Get up. There's a bit of a butt print, so we got to make sure we always clear these things off. No butt prints. No butt prints on my show. No butt prints on my show.
3, 2, and action.
You know, rapid technological change seems to be a given in the marketplace these days. We read about it everywhere. However, some changes occur and not many of us pay attention to it. Take the lowly mouse, for example. It wasn't that long ago that a mouse, this one from an old Macintosh, used a ball and a couple of rollers on the inside of it to track the movement. It wasn't that accurate, and it was very susceptible to dust and didn't work well on a shiny or a rough surface. Well, a number of years ago, the optical mice came into the marketplace, which really added a lot to precision. We don't realize it, though, but these mice are really technological miracles. There's a lot of circuitry inside of them. On the bottom side, the first thing you'll see is the light-emitting diode flashing red here. That light is not really doing the reading. It's just lighting up the surface, because you see in the middle here, there's a little tiny sensor. It's like a little camera. Some mice actually take up to 1,500 pictures per second of the surface they are moving over in a little tiny grid. They compare one picture to the next, all in real time, and determine which way the mouse is actually moving. This one is by Targus. It's called the PAW-M30. It's about $70 Canadian, and the reason I'm showing you this one, it's great if you're a traveler. It's a wireless connection to your notebook computer, meaning it doesn't have to be in line of sight. It comes with a USB adapter that you pop into the back, so it's perfect if you're traveling. Small size of this one is actually great for kids as well. It's got buttons on the side, a scrolling wheel that is also an activation button. Interesting thing, too, it's a 10-channel system, meaning if you have any interference in the room, it'll actually hop between 10 channels automatically. And it also has a built-in battery that's chargeable. This adapter comes with it. You simply pop this into the mouse, and you can charge it directly through the USB port on the back of the computer. If you've been thinking about a new mouse, if you travel, want one that's smaller for the kids, and want one that is very accurate if you're doing graphics, take a look at the new one from Targus. I think it'll fit the bill just perfect.
And cut.
Don't catch them.
I really enjoyed the history of before that.
Yeah, I did too. I did too.
There we go. Go ahead.
One other feature on this mouse,
Don't catch them.
very important, on-off switch right here on the bottom. The word robot actually comes from the Czechoslovakian word robota. It was first coined in the 1920s in a play called R.U.R. You can do some research on that on Google and press your friends if you want. But this is the one in the marketplace right now. This is called Robosapien. And the developer of this one actually worked in some very sophisticated roles in government agencies, everything from DARPA, NASA, and the Jet Propulsion Laboratories. Very sophisticated in its operation and definitely leading in the marketplace right now. About $130, but a lot of actuating movement. The remote control, as you can see here, a lot of controls on it. It is infrared, not wireless, meaning it does have to see the head of the robot, but you wouldn't want this thing to get out of sight anyway. One command here is the wake up. We'll see him come to life, and you can see articulation all over the body. Here's a fun one that I just practiced with a minute ago. You hit it once and we get the green light, meaning the green functions work. He wants to pick up the bucket. Oh, he's got it. And this one is a simple throw. It may look simple, but very sophisticated to actually get it to do it. Now, how much fun you would get out of this depends on the interest you would have in programming. You can program up to 80 levels of motion. And the manufacturer's website also has a great community on there where people are working with these all the time and coming up with patterns and great motions, because all the motions are programmable from the hand or the claw, from the elbows. There's even some reactionary motion that can be incorporated into it. So you can do it yourself. You can go to the website. You can have some fun. You can chase the cat and scare the dog and do all sorts of fun things.
Make them dance again. Make them dance.
I've had Mike programmed here for a while, and I think that was a gas release, which it does also have.
It's freaking me out.
Seems like I'm always looking for a battery for something these days. Might be a good time just to review the typical batteries that are in the marketplace these days. Alkaline is the most common battery. It comes by many manufacturers. When you're buying a new device, you might get them by Panasonic, Duracell, and this is a no-name. And for the most part, you can buy a no-name brand, you'll get pretty good power out of them. They're reasonably priced and they do a good job. If you're looking for something with a high drain, meaning for a digital camera, you want to stay away from the alkaline. You want to go to lithium. Now, these are not the lithium-ion rechargeables that you hear about. These are a lithium, and they come in many shapes and sizes, perfect for digital cameras. They also have a very good shelf life, up to 10 years. This is the type of battery you want to use in your smoke detector or an emergency flashlight. That's two of them, so the alkaline and the lithium. But if you want to take it a step further and get into the rechargeable, I'm recharging some right here. These are the nickel metal hydride. These replaced the NiCad a number of years ago. The great thing about these batteries is they are rechargeable. Remember one thing though, they do have a natural drain on them. They shouldn't be reused in emergency equipment because after about 6 months, they'll drain naturally. So quick recap, your standard alkaline, use it in most everything. Digital camera, smoke detector, emergency, use the lithium. And the rechargeable is a great battery that you can use over and over again, but do not use it in emergency equipment because it will die a natural death itself. Yeah. Okay, you read the notes. Okay. I'm going to do this. You wait over by the door and you can watch me, okay? Wait right there.
You reading that?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? That means that Mark can tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak until you tell him to stop. So, you gotta put a leash on him. Trying to catch in a few emails while I have the chance between the break. As long as we are still setting up, I'm good. Don't tell anyone else, okay? Better close the door.
Go through the menu screen, Mike.
Ready? We're rolling.
And action.
Well, here's something really fun and exciting for kids because it helps them learn. You know, there's been talk for years that the entire business model for the distribution of software was going to change. That would be that you wouldn't buy a software title, you'd use it or rent it by being connected to it. But with the advent of high speed and the fact that most people are now connected, it is starting to become possible. Telus now has the Telus Fun Learning Pack for kids. What is it? It's a way to access software, over 40 titles for one flat rate a month. You can play the games as often as you want, use your high-speed connection. You do not have to be a Telus customer. For those of you who are not, it's a great way to get all the titles, pay $9.95 a month, and have unlimited play at titles that are actually helping your children get educated at the same time.
I think this is the best value I've ever seen. I mean, these are the titles that you'd buy in the computer store.
And that's right. You could walk into a store, pick up these titles, pay $40 to $70 per copy, and then at the end of the day, when you're tired of them, they're sitting on a shelf. Telus is going to constantly rotate new titles through this.
This is cool. So titles like Pajama Sam from Humongous Entertainment. You probably know Arthur if you've got kids. And the nice thing, too, is you go through the catalog here, and like you said, there's over 40 titles. It'll even give you the age ranges of what the game is appropriate for.
And you can see right here, yep.
Let's even see
and
if
there's no risk of having to buy a title, and then kids either don't like it or it's not appropriate for them.
It's actually a really neat program here. Once you click on the title that you want to play, it'll automatically launch the player for you, and now you've got that game. You can play it on your computer as much as you want. When you're finished, you can go play any of those other games. The one we're playing right now is Arthur, and you're probably familiar with this, you know, from the cartoon series. But it's cool. The kids love this, especially the young ones, because they can actually click on all the different characters and make them do funny things, and then go along with the story.
And this is the real game, and as you can see, what makes this possible right now is the high-speed connection in your home. As far as you are concerned, you are playing this game as if it is loaded onto your computer, when in fact, it's streaming over the internet.
And so when I want to finish, I just quit the game, and I go back into the main Telus catalog.
No more CDs to get lost, no boxes to get crushed.
That's the thing with the CDs.
Damage,
you
right?
know how many CDs my kids have scratched, and now I can't play those games anymore? And what I like about this as well is that it'll work on a lot of the different computers out there. All you need is Windows 95 and Internet Explorer 5.5 or higher, and you'll have no problem running any of these games. And the nice thing, too, again, $9.95 a month, and you can even send it as a gift. There's a gift card available, so you can type in your credit card number and send it maybe to the grandkids.
Yeah, true. A good thing. A grandparent could do this if they're don't have all the time they'd love to spend with their kids. The fact that these are learning-enabled titles, meaning there's anything to do with creativity, math, reading, spelling, all those sort of things are embedded into these games so that somebody can actually enjoy it.
I don't know if you remember Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, that was a huge one.
They've
Yeah,
got such great titles, and this is fun. This is
exploration, adventure, thinking, all of those things are challenging the young children here.
And the idea behind Carmen Sandiego is that you have to go capture her, and to do that, you have to solve different puzzles using the clues that you find along the way. And kids love learning, and they have fun with these types of games.
Again, literally what we're talking about here is a new model for software distribution. You're going to see this in business applications coming down the road. You won't be buying your word processor. You won't be buying, much the same way you use Google. Think about it. You're not actually loading Google onto your computer, using it as a tool. Now it's going to happen the same way with educational titles. If you have young children and you'd like to see them productive when they're on the computer, you might want to check this out.
Hey, Scooby-Doo.
All right, get them.
Break time.
I absolutely believe, when we look back over the last 10 or 20 years, all the technology schools have purchased, the hundreds of millions of dollars, could some of that money be better used for textbooks, more in-depth learning, field trips? Possibly so. The challenge is the technology changes too quickly. We're continually updating. I would like to find a way to understand the core value of the technology in the classroom, so that we're not racing to keep up, but using it as a tool, and then using balanced money after that to add to all the other activities that children could use to learn.
Okay, mark it.
3-5 Charlie, take 3, marker.
Stand by. And action.
And now for something completely different. No look at gaming or popular games would be complete without a look at Zoo Tycoon 2, one of the more popular games for the entire family to play. If you are an animal lover and don't have an opportunity to live at a zoo or on a farm, this is a great way to experience and learn about animals. Everything from the feeding, the caring, the habitation of them, if that is a word, how they live and what they like to do. A great way to learn and take care of animals, all done through a computer game that's actually enjoyable to play.
Well, I love the first Zoo Tycoon, and so did my kids, and it's still got all of that built into it. You actually earn money from how successful your zoo is, and to do that, you have to look after the animals.
You have to be smart, and you have to learn what they really want.
Exactly. So you have to choose what kind of pens they have, what kind of ground cover, what kind of trees and vegetation. And if you do it successfully, then the animals are happy, more guests come in, and again, you make more money to buy more animals.
And don't expand too quickly. This is all about the strategies and the undertaking to be successful in the proper care of the animals.
It's got over 30 animals in here, and where it goes up a level over the first one is that it's now 3D. You can actually get right into the pens there in the zookeeper mode and even, feed the tigers, for example. Also, zoo guest mode, if you just want to go in and enjoy the zoo like the other visitors do, you can do that. And I like this here. It's got a photo mode as well, so you can take snapshots of your favorite animals and then share them online.
And share. One of the things, too, is time passes in this game as it does in Sims. So as time passes, obviously, exchanges, interactions, and lifespans occur and pass on. It's up to you to take care of the animals. The better job you do, the more successful you are, and the more fun you can have playing the game. Do check it out if you want something for the whole family. It is a good one.
Cut. Awesome. Good for time, content?
Yep.
All right, great job, guys.
When I buy a robot for my kids, what is this robot going to do? We featured one in the show that can dance around and burps and farts. Woo-hoo! But, is this thing going to mow my lawn or make me breakfast anytime soon? No, we're so many years away from that. I like the farting, though. That's funny. That's good stuff.
Dave Chalk Connected is brought to you by Telus. The future is friendly.
Do kids need computers? Well, they think they do. I'd like to say they don't. And, of course, I'm going to get all the hate mail for that. What kids need is mental stimulation and working with manual dexterity, which is their hands and their coordination. Computers can contribute to that, but most of us, and maybe many of the people watching this show today, didn't grow up using computers. I think in 10 years, 20 years from now, we're going to say, hey, we made a big mistake. We forced all our kids onto these computers thinking it was the way to go. But it's that fear-greed scenario. If you don't do it now, you're going to miss out on something. When in fact, for the last million years, we tended to make our way through pretty good. Let technology augment their education. Let it augment these sort of things, but don't force them on it. Show them all the alternatives, the way we grew up.
Okay, so in the 80s, they came out with this robot that brought you drinks. The only thing it could do was go backwards and forwards. Ooh, what a great value. Sony's got these little robot dogs, these Sony Aibos. I mean, super cool, but when they first came out, $5,000 for a little robot dog that basically could just kind of walk around a bit and had to be recharged every hour or so. How many dogs you can buy for $5,000? Like real dogs? With robots, the only ones that I can see that are vaguely useful right now are, the little robot vacuum cleaners and the robot lawnmowers. But, even then, do you really want a robot lawnmower roaming your yard? Like, that kind of freaks me out.